Good morning, friends. On behalf of Banking Quest, I, Tilagulati, extend you warm welcome. Friends, this bank promotion training program is being conducted by Banking Quest, one of the premier organizations imparting training to bank officials. Friends, it is our great privilege that we have with us Mr. Mohan Tansale, former chairman and managing director of Central Bank of India and former chief executive officer of Indian Banks Association. Friends, when I discussed with Mr. Tansale sir about our bank promotion training program, sir has kindly agreed to address us all. Tansale sir is presently at USA and in spite of the odd hours there, sir is with us on this online platform. Sir, on behalf of entire team of Banking Quest and on behalf of the participants, I extend our sincere thanks, gratitude and warm welcome. Sir, in this training program, we have around 200 participants from various banks from scale 1 to DGM level. They are all aspirants for promotion to the next level in their banking career. Sir, I request you to kindly address the participants, guide them, and motivate them so that they will go to take the exam with full confidence. Kindly, sir.
I am extremely happy that you all, as aspiring bankers, uh, have are you're making efforts by joining this initiative, Mr. Gulati, to upskill yourselves and shoulder the high responsibility. It's very, very important that your own willingness to upskill yourself to shoulder the high responsibility is important. Let me tell you that all of us who have come up the level by proper grounding at the field probably have never missed an opportunity to whether do CIB or attend various training programs or whatever it is, because these are the learning grounds, and this is how a banker really should mold yourself into a real banker. The most important part for you people, primarily, I would like that you should take pride in yourself to be a public sector banker. Why I'm emphasizing this is that unfortunately, a lot of comparison gets into the various media and various levels, and at times we get carried that public sector banker are secondary. No way. I can assure you, friends, that the way you are contributing towards the inclusive economic growth of the country, you are doing a great job for the country's inclusive economic growth. And that pride you should have in you that I am a public sector banker and I am contributing and I can contribute to uh, uh, the industry and the stakeholders at large. See, ultimately, who are our stakeholders? Our stakeholders are our depositors, our borrowers, the community which gets benefited, and above all, the economy of the country. And that is why I am sure you people should be aware that it is said and it's a fact that banking is a lifeline of economy. Kindly write down on your pads what I'm saying. Banking is a lifeline of economy. And this I heard at various forums from various top-notch senior bankers. And I usually would like to sensitize my colleagues that you must believe in it, that you are the lifeline of the economy. And if you are the lifeline of the economy, most important part for you to be a successful banker should be that you know the financial sector, the banking sector in particular, and this you should know broadly, but you should know your bank very closely. Most important part is that what is my bank, and then relate to my branch or whatever responsibilities I have. When I say my bank, you people are very lucky. When we joined, we had only one balance sheet and one kind of target, deposits and advances. Today, everything is so well analyzed. Every bank is a listed entity. Every bank comes out with the quarterly results. Every bank comes out with the uh, presentation to the investors with the various kind of information on the bank. And I would urge upon all of you that that is what is one document which all of you should go through whatever level you are, because I strongly feel that each one of you contribute to the balance sheet of the bank, irrespective of what level you are, your scale 1 or scale 7, you are in branch or you're in the administrative office. Why I feel that is the case? Because each one of you should be conscious of what is the cost, what is the quality, and what is the volume of the various kind of assets and liabilities on the balance sheet of the bank. And what is the balance sheet of the bank? Balance sheet of the bank is not created by the chairman of a bank or MD of a bank. It is the aggregation of the balance sheets of all the branches and units of the bank. And who makes it? You make it. So unless you believe in this, that whatever my bank it may be, whether you are from State Bank of India or you are from Punjab and Sind Bank, I took these two names because one is at the top and one is at the bottom in terms of volume of business. I have served through three major banks of this country. That is Union Bank, my parent bank. I was ED, Punjab National Bank, and Central Bank. And I'm sure few of them may be here if from these banks. I don't know. But then, as IB chief executive, I have handled. I've been in touch with each one of you, and thus I will repeat what I said, that each one of you are responsible to contribute to the qualitative building of the balance sheet. What is the qualitative building of the balance sheet? It means you should be aware of what is the cost of my liabilities, what is the yield on my assets, what is my administrative cost, what is my productivity, and thus when you go through the various investors presentation which your managing director or your team of ED and general managers must be making to the investors world, you will see that there's a lot of thrust on the various financial parameters. So let us take some of those financial parameters. I'll just put it before you. Let's take the deposit side. I am sure quite often you must be coming across what is the CASA percentage, what is the name, what is the high cost deposit. Now, in our days, deposit achievement was only a number, that is any kind of a mix of a deposit. And a lot of us, we used to go for high cost deposit also. But does it make a sense to really build my balance sheet with the high cost deposit? No. It makes sense that my CASA, if not 40%, if not 50% like many banks, it should be at least above 40%. Why I'm telling you all this, that when you are appearing for an interview, basically you should know whichever place you are working, what way you are contributing to the building of the bank. And I'm sure all of you today know that it is always said that unless you align your goal to the organizational goal, you really don't achieve. And organization consists of the people, and people are who are attending here, and thus you will have to be very conscious. So as I said, that on the liability side, you should know that how does it make a difference to have a better CASA? How does it make a difference to have a higher amount of high cost deposit? How it is a drain on it? But in order to build this, what kind of a servicing that is required to the customer, that is another aspect that you have to take. Similarly, on the asset side, when you talk of the balance sheet contribution, it is a RAM. All of you understand this terminology today. RAM is retail, agriculture, and MSME, where the yields are the maximum and your risk is well distributed into the smaller units. But when you go for the large scale financing, the big ticket financing, typically your rate of interest will be lower, your risk is concentrated, and thus how exactly you build your balance sheet should be really a part of your learning, that how do you really manage the cost of deposit, yield of advances. And I will say that the responsibility of the branch manager in my days, let me tell you, I used to tell my branch manager, you are the chief executive of your branch. I am the chief executive of a region. I am the chief executive of the zone. I am the chief executive of the bank, but you are the chief executive of your branch. And you must know that how I maximize the revenue for my branch and how I optimize the cost of my branch. Because ultimately the profits are nothing but a difference of the revenue maximization and the cost optimization. The unit which does this well generates higher profit. Unfortunately, because of the quality of the sales, the profits have got impacted. We are recovering it back gradually. And I strongly believe that if you are able to generate a profitability, typically we look at the profitability as a return on asset. The ROA, if your ROA is 1% plus, typically it is considered to be a good, which contributes a good amount of profit, and that profit gets added to the capital. Because you cannot always think of creating a capital by borrowing or generating or getting the equities and the AT1 bonds and all those things. Primarily, your capital generation should be coming from your own profits. And that is what we all have been endeavoring. I'll suggest that you must look at all these things. If you look at the investor's presentation, you will come across the various quantitative and qualitative parameters. What is the quantitative parameters? What is the productivity per branch? That is, what is the total business per branch? What is the total business per employee? Now, when I look at the business per employee, are we not all responsible who are participating here? And if you talk this language in your interviews, I am very sure your consciousness about your organization, about your own branch, or whichever, even if you are working in the administrative office, let me tell you, friends, your nice guidance and timely help to the branches who generate the business makes a difference. I will tell you one small example. I became regional manager in 2003. So 1974 to 2003, except for initial 2 years as a probationary officer, I have been a branch manager. And obviously, as a branch manager, I had to look upon the regional managers or the regional office support. So when I assumed the charge of a Mumbai Regional Office South in 2003, the first day meeting, I told my entire staff, who is the VIP for the regional office? My branch manager is my VIP. He contributes for the business of my region. And thus, I don't want my branch managers to be made footballs, but they should be given the proper support. And thus, friends, when you are sitting in the administrative office, and if you talk this language, that this is how you would like to help the branches in generating the business. When you talk of generating business, always bear in mind, it is the qualitative business which makes a difference and not the quantitative alone. So growing size, forgetting the quality has no meaning. And thus, I have used the word orderly growth. I am using the word qualitative growth again and again and again. And thus, this part of qualitative parameters of productivity and profitability, once you see, then the efficiency parameters, all of you should know very well what is the NIM, what is the ROA. I'll request yield on advances, cost of deposit. Mr. Gulati, if you can cover all these things in your ensuing lectures and showcase a standard investors presentation or whichever bank, these are all public documents. It makes a lot of sense when a junior level banker understands it, that he is also contributing. It's not the MDs and EDs and GMs of the bank who make the balance sheet. They are only aggregators and they are only giving you the guidance. It's you who people are working, and it is you who people are contributing to the business of the bank. And that is what is my responsibility, to tell you that this is what I will expect you people to prepare yourself. Of course, how to prepare for interview, I think Gulati and the entire team will tell you all that. But I am very particular that I do not talk those standardized things. I would like to see an aspiring banker who must see that one day I have to get into the chair of a MD, one day I have to get into the chair of TD and general manager. And towards this, friend, as I said, carry a good pride in you that yes, you are contributing to the bank industry, you are contributing to your bank. And that is why I have requested Mr. Gulati to circulate my small article which I ventured to write on the changing role of a banker, where you as a banker have to ensure that why the customer should prefer to bank with you. It means you will have to become a preferred banker for the complete requirements of an individual. It is called hyper personalization. It doesn't need only the deposit and advances, he needs the wealth management products, he needs the insurance products, he needs the technology supports. And thus you will have to be really very, very clear about what kind of requirements are there for my customer and what way we can meet them using the technology at the best of the level. And thus I will say that keep in mind what are the various payment systems which are in place, what are the various digital platforms which are using like PSB 59 minutes. Let me tell you friends, with a pride, I was a mentor to PSB 59 minutes right from its drawing board, and when it got ready and it has been acquired by SEBI. So then the customer centricity, I think maximum technological usage by digitization and online services. I think these are the few things which you should be knowing and we should be talking, because every aspiring banker, when he is interviewed, he is expected that what is that he will contribute towards the growth of the bank, in what way. And if you talk of this language, what I broadly told you, don't get overawed that chairman is talking, so only chairman should know. No, every junior person should know all these things. I'll tell you again my experience. Murthy knows it well. Union Bank of India went public in 2002. 2002, I was AGM in the banking, Union Bank of India, and the bank had chosen some of the executives to make presentation to the customers, and I was given the responsibility to make presentation to the entire Maharashtra along with the consultants. And then first time I could also understand, no, the bank has to be seen in a different way. It is not the size of the bank which matters. It is the qualitative size of the bank which matters a lot. I think this is what I would like to tell you, friends. And before I close, I have 2-3 things which I have been telling all my colleagues all through my career. That one is, be honest to yourself. Make your sincere efforts in whatever you are trying to do. Believe in yourself that you can do it. And third is, I always say, future belongs to those who dream. And in order to dream well, you have to have a good sleep, good health, good mental setup. And for that, you have to maintain your ethics. You have to be upright. And if you are driving your career this way, I am very confident, dear, that all of you will be able to contribute substantially to the your own banks in whatever position you are. Once again, thank you very much. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much, Gulati. If any questions are there, another 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes. Otherwise, Murthy should take his sessions forward.
Thank
Murthy,
you, sir.
nice to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot that you have motivated our participants and shared your experiences and gave them the proper guidance, sir. So you have explained everything that we required. We required growth of the bank, that to a qualitative growth. So everyone is a chief executive of his own seat. So first of all those things is that everyone should believe in itself. So your sincere advice to all the participants that we all bankers, wherever we are sitting, in whatever capacity, in whatever status we are sitting, we should put in our sincere efforts, and we should everyone should believe in yourself that you can do it. Unless you believe, you cannot do it. You have to put a belief in yourself, and future belongs to those who dream it. So friends, just dream it, believe in yourself, put in your sincere efforts. There is no reason that why you can't get upstairs, get on the next ladder of your banking career. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Yeah, friends, it is a rare opportunity with us that we have with us such a stalwart in the banking industry. You can ask any question. Sir is there with us. You can put your question in the chat box. You can unmute and ask question. AVS Sharma, you want to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how as a public sector banker, can we compete with private sector banks like HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank and be in the forefront of development of our bank?
I think there is nothing different that bank is doing. The only thing that all of us have to get well focused on our customer requirements. What is those banks are doing is nothing but addressing the customer requirement in totality. And if there is a customer of my bank, how many services a customer may need, if you start counting, I'll tell you: the savings bank account, the debit card, the credit card, the insurance, the wealth management, the housing loan, the car loan, the education loan, so on and so forth. And that is what is their approach, that they acquire the customer on a very holistic basis. And I don't think that we are anyway inferior to these banks in terms of technology. Today, all of you have got all the, core banking is old history now. That's an old thing. But all of you have got complete payment system products with you. All of you are having the credit debit cards and all. But what has happened? Unfortunately, your good customer will also have a HDFC card and ICICI card. And your own card is not there. Your own card is there, you're not able to sell it. So my request to you, all of you, is that don't get overawed by these banks. Just try to understand that these banks are focused in acquiring a customer in totality and not in piecemeal. And that's what grows their volumes, and that's how they are growing. So otherwise, footprint wise, you are absolutely fine. ATMs and all, now I don't think that's a big difference. So what is important is to look at the customer centricity, customer service. And I will repeat that quality is the only thing, whether it is a deposits, whether it is advances. If you are growing qualitatively, I am sure you are in the competition.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
And there is one question from Sushmita. One second, Om Prakash ji, one question from Sushmita Rao.
नमस्कार सर, आपको सुन के बड़ा अच्छा लगा.
Thank
यू
you.
वेरी मच. आपने बहुत सारे एरियाज को टच कर दिए. एक सर, एक किसी बैंक के एडीएमडी का एक अपने ही एड्रेस में एक व्यू आया था. The people in head office and zonal office, they are liability, only the branches are earning. So
I will not agree to that at all. Nobody is a liability, everybody is contributing. The only thing that whether I am playing my role properly. आज की तारीख में head office में, why do you need more people when technology is doing everything? You really don't need. But if the head office people, if you are processing a proposal, instead of in 5 days, if you take 15 days, then you are a liability because you have deprived the bank of 10 days interest. So everybody sitting in the administrative office should understand that his efficiency adds to the profitability of the field. And that's how you should look at it. So I don't think that it is anything of without administrative office, the branches cannot really get supported, and without the branches, so it is a complementary to each other. Nothing is a liability, but yes, you are a liability if you are not delivering of what is expected of you as a administrative office. And that's why I gave you my example of a regional manager. And I ensure that my all people in the regional office, they respect what is the field requirement. Field is not depending on the region. Region is surviving because field is there. अगर branches में काम नहीं हो तो regional office जरूरत किधर है यार? So I totally do not subscribe to that statement.
और दूसरा सर, अपने पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक की एम्प्लॉइज के लिए एज यूजुअल जैसे कोई भी सरकारी कर्मचारी होते हैं, ऐसे सरकारी बैंक जो इमेज बन गई है कि नहीं, मतलब काम उतना प्रोडक्टिविटी नहीं है या कस्टमर के लिए
ये केवल इमेज बनी है, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर आप प्रोडक्टिविटी पर एम्प्लॉय और प्रॉफिट पर एम्प्लॉय कंपेयर करना शुरू करें इन बैंकों के साथ भी, तो यू विल फाइंड दैट दे हैव गॉट various extended service providers who are not on the payrolls. Outsourcing activities are there. Yes, I should not be complacent. If I am from X bank, I must know my productivity per employee, productivity per branch. If my branch is located in a particular district, then as a branch manager, I must know what is the market share. I mean, I would like to bring out, I never thought that I will talk market share, but every branch should know what is their market share. And if they are not working towards improving their market share, then obviously they are poor at productivity. तो ये तो देखिए इमेज कैसा है मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. When I took over at Central Bank of India in 2011, my first day address to Central Bank employees was, employee is my first customer. If my employee is capable, satisfied to deliver services to the customer, then only my customer can be really serviced. And thus every employee should, and that is why I said, believe in yourself. Absolutely. So nobody is a liability. The only thing, so you people have preferred to join on Saturday 10 o'clock for this. I have preferred to address you today. In America, it is 12:40 in the night. I chose to address. Not that, but I thought, yeah, I have a responsibility and it's my opportunity to contribute back to my colleagues in the banking industry. And I am a staunch public sector banker. और मैं किसी भी फोरम पे कोई भी आर्गुमेंट और डिस्कस करने के लिए तैयार हूँ with facts and figures. Murthy has seen me growing in Union Bank of India. He will vouch for it. So, तो कभी भी आप, इसीलिए मैंने पहले आपको फर्स्ट सेंटेंस से ही बोला, be proud to be a public sector banker.
Yeah, thank you. Sir, one question from Sushmita Rao in the chat box. Why government thinking for making nationalized bank to privatize?
I don't think that we should be worried about nationalize to privatize and all that. Yeah, let me tell you that if you ask me from the top level, I would have also loved if the government ownership is reduced and I had got the what do you call the contribution coming from the private sector who can contribute in making of the organization. So while I am not saying that 100% privatization is there, but I am not averse to it. I am only saying that government should retain its share but reduce it gradually. In fact, in good old days also, unfortunately, today's the average holding in the public sector banks of the government is above 80% because the profits generation has not been there. So your capital infusion is coming only from the government. All the equity holders, if they are losing, you will not be able to raise the equity. But the moment you are in a position to operate with little more liberty, I think all of you probably can contribute better, and thus we should not be arrangement. And I am 100% sure that the so-called privatization, what is being discussed and talked about, will only lead to a reduction of the equity part, because probably funding of the equity on a regular basis. And I say as a nationalized bank also, all of us are a listed entity. All of us are got the directors chosen from the shareholders, but very limited way. What is the shareholders? 80% shareholding is of the government and the LIC put together. And thus there is hardly any opportunity for the intellect of the financial sector to be part of your boards, and that makes a lot of difference. I think this is what broadly I like to say.
Thank you, sir. Whether public sector or private sector, both of them, their duties for the upward, for the growth of the nation, and it depends upon the time that who contributes at what time on the growth of the nation. Main intention of the growth.
I will say in very simple word, if a public sector bank is conscious of what we discussed in last half an hour of a qualitative growth, and be conscious of the revenue maximization, cost optimization, I think what is the difference? The only difference is that because of we being 80% owned by the government has to infuse the capital on and on, and then you are not getting the kind of contribution from the intellects of the financial sector to the boards. It makes a difference. Right, that you are a public sector bank, even if you are privatized, it will not make a difference if you are conscious of what is your responsibility to your organization. Yes, Gulati. Yeah.
So whenever we listen to any CMD chairman, in our career also we use also to, whenever any CMD or top executive come to address us, we start dreaming that one day we will also become the chairman. In that context, there is one question coming from Raj Verma. So his question is, how is the life as a chairman and managing director of a public sector bank?
It's no way different than what you are here. Let me tell you, it's only the change of role and the responsibilities. And in order to shoulder those role and responsibility, you must have soiled your hands. You should have gathered a lot of experience to face that responsibility. It's no way different. I mean, I don't think that if I'm telling you that if you are a chief branch manager, you are a chairman of a branch. If you are a regional manager, you are a chairman of a region. If you are a zonal manager, you are a chairman of a zone. That's how I have conducted myself. So I never had any difficulty, except that, yes, I have to face various external world. I mean, to be a managing director or chairman is no way different. It's only the responsibility, type of responsibility, the size of the responsibility, it grows. Scale 1 officer, scale 2 branch managers, your size is low. As regional manager, it is more. As zonal manager, it is more. So it's like that. So see, all of us who have become chairman and retired as chairman of a banking industry have rose from the ranks. All of have joined as the officer in the banking industry and have rose to the level. I think all of you should aspire. Nothing wrong about it. But you must prepare yourself for that. That's most important.
Yes, any other question? Thank you, sir. Any other question, friends? Yeah, one question, sir, from Ravi Kumar in the chat box. Yeah, same type. Whenever any top executive come, they ask the same type of question. Sir, today we are moving towards quantitative business instead of qualitative business because of huge pressure. How can we meet both aspects of the same time?
I think there is no way that you should look at only quantitative growth. Yes, you are given target, but then how do you achieve these targets qualitatively is up to your efforts. Now, efforts, when I talk of, let's talk of the advances. Today, you people are so lucky. So much information is available to do a due diligence on a borrower, which was not available to us. Besides credit bureaus, all the banks are using the various other platforms. I am chairing one of the, you will see in the uh, article which is in Rubik's Data Science. A lot of data sciences are there, and you got complete due. Just do your job honestly. If you are doing a due diligence honestly and growing, I think there is no way that you should compromise on the quality. And if you say that the quantity can be achieved only if you compromise quality, I am not with you, my dear. Quantity
Tansala
can
sir,
be achieved qualitatively.
Tansala sir, I am with you. When we were branch manager,
Yes.
there was no credit rating, there was no CIBIL,
Yeah, yeah,
there was no
exactly.
CRISIL, and there were no marketing officer to support us, sir. You have to be on the run.
Exactly.
Today, yeah, they are
I-
provided with marketing officers, and there are CIBIL scores, and everything is there. Everything is there, and as you said, technology is a big enabler, and we were
Correct.
doing everything on manual things.
Correct.
So I am fully with you, sir.
So, friends, even if there is a pressure for growth, uh, you can grow qualitatively. That should be your conviction. And that conviction will come to you when you know that what are the tools available to me for a qualitative growth. And that is what I think from my starting point, I've been harping on the qualitative part. Chili, I think you should continue with your usual.
Mr. Om Prakash Gunani is the principal regional training center, UCO Bank. Sir, Mr. Gunani has asked you questions. So at the end, sir, thank you very much. And I request Mr. Murthy, sir, to kindly extend a vote of thanks to sir.
Sir,
So
I'm very
Gurnani,
proud that
you are both Gurnani, you are both the ADs have worked with me. Ajay Vyas in Central Bank and Ishraq in Union Bank. And you can check with them कि टंसाले साहब भाषण दे रहे थे उसमें भाषण या facts है. So I will talk what I have experienced, what I have tried to execute in my capacity. Please.
Sir, I still remember. I am very honored, sir. Still, you are using the word. I am your colleague. You have seen the pinnacle of glory in the banking sector. Still, you have not forgotten your old colleagues, and still you remember me. That's a great thing, sir. Besides that, Tansale sir was CEO in IBA. I had a stint as a senior vice president before Tansale sir coming. And we have grown together, and we were together in foreign exchange trainings, and we worked under Bhishma Pitama called Vambatkare. He's no more.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
was the one, yes, taken us literally to Forex. And I've seen how Mr. Tansale used to work in reconciliation of clearing old things and all that. He used to sit in that BS Marg alone, and he used to clear.
Correct.
And we were under a great guru called Vambatkare and a great taskmaster called Michael Bastian.
Yes,
And these are all
correct.
things. Good old days, sir. And I've seen one good thing with Mr. Tansale is that he's always grounded. Whatever the position he goes, he's always grounded. Foot is on the land. So that is a very good quality when nobody should forget. Even though you go, always in Tamil there is a poem called a paddy when it is planted, it looks upright. When it grows, and it is with the pad with all its crops and all that, it bends. So when you go up, you know how to bend yourself. You have to be flexible. You have to stand rooted on the ground. These are all the good qualities of Tanchale sir. I am proud that I was associated with this great gentleman. And God bless you, sir. Wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Godspeed
Thank
and Happy New Year for you, for your family, and all,
Thank
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you, sir.
once again, all the best to all the colleagues. Do well. I'll be very happy to see all of you achieving what you intend to in your respective banks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
धन्यवाद।
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
आपको
So-
हमारे बीच में मिलकर के बड़ी खुशी हुई। आपने पूरा मतलब हमको क्या करना है, मतलब फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर को तो जानना चाहिए, लेकिन बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री को इन पर्टिकुलर और अपने बैंक और ब्रांच को बहुत क्लोजली आपने बहुत मंत्र दे दिया हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को। मतलब ये इनके न सिर्फ अभी एग्जाम में काम आएगा, इंटरव्यू में काम आएगा, बल्कि पूरे करियर में इनको ये बात ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए और अप स्किल होते हुए रहना चाहिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I exit now. Thank you.
Thank you.